The highly anticipated battle between David Morrell and David Benavidez is finally over, and here are the pros' reactions.
Morrell's a hell of a fighter, Benavidez hell of a fighter, and proud of both guys going in there, giving the fans, a big fight. That's what it's about. The best fighting the best. Two guys who don't like each other, they get in there, they settle it like men. What more could you ask for?
It's interesting because one of Morrell's cornerman, Bob Santos, told me yesterday in the media room, if David can keep the fight right in front of him within a tight range, if he can have a straight-on angle to go at Benavidez and try to catch him with quick shots upstairs, he'll have a chance to win the fight. And I think that in the late rounds, you could see that that was good thinking. But what he didn't have was any way of defending effectively against Benavidez's roundhouse shots upstairs and to the body.
Yeah, bro, it was easier than I thought, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be tougher. I thought it was going to be tougher to hit. He was tough to fucking knock down and knock out. I had him hurt a lot of times, but I just had to go back to the drawing board.
Hey man, it was a good fight, man. Especially the last two rounds were really good in the early rounds, But I mean, bro, Benavidez's pressure was strong, man. A good fight, real good fight.
Yeah, of course, Canelo's not gonna want to fight. Canelo didn't want to fight Boo Boo. He didn't want to fight David Morrell. He doesn't want to face nobody. The only fighters that Canelo Alvarez wants to see fight is either too old or too young that don't have experience. Those are the only ones. He would not face the Mexican monster. I gotta go watch it. In my opinion, I was turning around. I think it was more like off balance. But that's exciting, when somebody, David's fucking winning the whole fight. Then he kind of gets dropped. It's exciting. People are like, whoa, shit. If I was watching home, I'd be like, damn. And then I look at him and he's standing up, smiling, like, come on, motherfucker. Shit, I got scared. So I think Morrell's like, what the fuck? So I think these are the kind of fights that the fans deserve. They want to be entertained.
Benavidez, yeah, he won it by decision. And then, that one knockdown, that was a knockdown. Then he had that point deducted, Morrell did. So it came out to a 9-8 round, so it's not going to affect him.
What is it? We'll see. Hey, Daz, Alicia, what y'all think of the fight? What it do? It was amazing. I think it was amazing. What do you think of the fight? I think it was amazing.
It's always good.
What do you think of it?
I think I would love to see a rematch.
He called me a thief. He called me a thief, man. And I'm back in the city.
Are you a thief?
Huh? Hey, I wish I could trade checks with you guys. I wish I could trade checks with both of you.
Oh, let's bring them.
I would never see him.
No, pues me siento súper contento con el trabajo realizado. No salió como teníamos pensado, se preparó bien. Como siempre se ha dicho, solamente un David se trae victorioso. En este momento fue él. Felicidades para él y para su equipo de trabajo. Y nada, simplemente seguir trabajando, seguir esforzándonos más y para obtener la victoria en un futuro cercano. Me tardé un poco me tardé en reaccionar. Me tardé en reaccionar y creo que ese fue uno de los errores que cometí en este combate, pero nada, simplemente sucedió. Fue cuando básicamente mejor me sentí los últimos 3 rounds y pero demasiado tarde.
Benavidez is a monster. I fuck with Benavidez.
Who would you like to see him fight next?
Huh?
Who would you like to see him fight next?
Canelo, Benavidez. Both of them.
Boxing trainer Robert Garcia viewed Benavidez versus Morrell as an exciting matchup. However, he favored Benavidez because of his greater experience. He was enthusiastic about the fight happening now, with both fighters in their prime.
It's not even marinated yet, you know, but they're two monsters, like monsters, you know what I mean?
If the Canelo fight's not there, then that's the fight that I would like to see. Definitely, 100%.
With Benavidez, right, the knock on him, what they try saying is, well, he hasn't beat no one. He's bigger than everybody, and that's why he wins, right? That's what they say. Morrell's bigger than David.
Yeah,
I tell people, don't believe that 6'1" stuff that they say on Boxer. He's a legit 6'3".
It'll just be a great fight because Morrell has great power, great. You know, he's hungry. He wants to be huge in boxing. So I really think it'll make it a good fight. I still pick Benavidez.
Eddie Hearn reflected on how Morrell's public image might have shifted after that fight, but stood by the idea that his talent was still there, and there was potential for him to perform better in the future.
And I think massive respect to him for taking it. It's a great fight. Great fight.
Who do you favor?
From what I saw last time, Benavidez. But leading up to, that was the first time I've seen Morrell in the flesh, and I really rated him going into that fight. He didn't impress me at all in that fight. But you know, it could have been a bad performance, but he's a very good fighter.
Radivoje Kalajdžić weighed in fight, saying that if Morrell stayed calm in the first 6 to 8 rounds, he had a good chance of winning. He advised Morrell not to be too aggressive, but to focus on picking his shots and moving. Kalajdžić expected the fight to be close, but believed Morrell could stick to his plan and secure the win.
If he could stay composed and stay calm during the first 6 to 8 rounds, because Benavidez, all he has is pressure, and he eventually will slow down. So stay composed, stay calm, pick your shots, and move, box, because he could box and move. Don't be the aggressor. I think he could pull it off.
Tim Bradley believed David Morrell still lacked the experience to compete at the highest level, saying he wasn't impressed with Morrell's recent performance. Bradley thought Benavidez had the upper hand, not just because of his pressure-fighting style, but also his ability to box and move when needed. He believed Morrell would struggle with Benavidez's versatility, as the former champion could adapt his style and do a bit of everything in the ring, making him a tough challenge for Morrell.
I think Morrell still needs a little bit more seasoning, to be honest with you. I wasn't too fond of his last fight.
Bottom line,
I really was.
Benavidez. Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't too fond. Benavidez can do a little bit of everything. We only see him as being a pressure type of assassin type of guy, throwing quick combinations and really, just stepping on the gas and squashing guys. But he can move and box if he wants to as well.
Jesse Hart pointed out some weaknesses in Morrell's last fight, especially his tendency to slow down after the 9th round. Hart mentioned that Morrell became more vulnerable to getting hit if an opponent landed the right shot. He also raised concerns about Morrell's habits outside the ring and wondered if they might eventually affect his performance. Hart was keeping a close eye on whether Morrell had addressed these issues, believing Benavidez could exploit these weaknesses in their upcoming fight.
Dave Morrell, I'm looking, has he grown? Can we get him? That last fight, I seen a lot of weaknesses in him. A lot of weaknesses. I'm looking at, have he grown from that fight? Did he went 12 rounds for the first time in his ever career? You know what I mean? Around the 9th, I seen he start slowing down. I seen you can touch him on his. You can clip him if you get him at the right time. He slows down around about the 9th round. And David Benavidez, his living habits outside the ring, did that catch up to him? I'm watching for all that. And I'll be looking February 1st to see if my predictions is right.
Trainer Buddy McGirt acknowledged that while Morrell is a good boxer, the fight will get more interesting after a few rounds. He explained that Benavidez tends to take a little time to adjust, but once he does, his rapid combinations could create serious problems for Morrell.
I think it's going to be an interesting fight, man. I think that both guys are really going to be tested because, Morrell's a good boxer. But I think that the later rounds is really going to tell. Because, Benavidez, it takes him a few rounds to get going. But once he gets going and he figures out your rhythm, you got problems. Once you start letting those 20-punch combinations go, you got problems. So it's going to be an interesting fight.
McGirt compared the early rounds to a chess match, where both fighters will take time to figure each other out. He believes the action will really pick up after round 5, with one fighter likely cracking the other's strategy and gaining an advantage.
I was gonna, Morrell's got a great, a great staff for, you know, a southpaw. He boxes well. He's got my man Ronnie Shields in his corner. I know Ronnie's going to have him ready, but Benavidez always comes in ready. So it's going to be, I think, after the 5th round, that's when the fight's really going to get interesting. The first 4 or 5, it's going to be more like a chess match. After the 5th round, somebody's going to have somebody figured out, and that's when it's going to get hot in the kitchen.
Moreover, David confronted Morrell, questioning his disrespect and challenging his actions. He asserted his dominance by saying, "I will break your mouth."
He's trying to act hard, man, but whatever it is what it is. On February 1st, I'm going in there. We'll break your mouth.
¿Cómo fue?
I'm gonna break your mouth.
No te entiendo, dime.
David Benavidez called out Morrell, saying all the strategies being used are useless. He was confident, doesn't see Morrell as a real threat, and says he'll show them how it's done in the ring.
I'm an easy fight. These guys saying I'm an easy fight. You better go in there and do what you gotta do. When I knock you the out, I want you to say shit. We're gonna see. We're in the sea.
Lo único que tú llevas para adelante, lo tienes un solo cambio. Un solo cambio.
Okay.
Un solo cambio. Usted no tiene más nada.
I'm glad these fucking idiots thinking like this.
Benavidez and Morrell nearly fought after a media workout in Miami. They went face to face, trash talked, and things got heated. Benavidez dropped his belt and shoved Morrell, which kicked off a scuffle between their teams. Security stepped in before it got worse. Leonard Ellerbe predicted an exciting and close fight. He mentioned that both fighters could get knocked down or face dangerous moments during the bout, but expected plenty of back and forth action. Ellerbe was confident that fans would enjoy a thrilling, action-packed battle.
I anticipated this to be a very 50-50 kind of fight. I expected somebody's gonna hit the canvas, and it probably might be early, and the other person might get hurt in the fight. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs, ebbs and flows in this particular fight because both guys really want it bad, and want to make a big statement. It's going to be a lot of trash talking with the build-up. So this is one of those kind of fights that the fans will actually win.
Lonnie B weighed in as well, stating that it will be a tough fight for Benavidez. He praised Morrell's Cuban style, slick movement, and ability to punch while avoiding damage. According to Lonnie B, Morrell's offensive style and elusiveness will be difficult for Benavidez to handle, making it a challenging matchup.
Tough fight. David Morrell is really good. He's really good. Yeah, he's good. I can't even. He's good. You know?
You're kind of giving me a face like you don't know who wins that fight.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh.
Because David Morrell is big too. He's big for super middleweight too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's big. He can punch. He's slick. Real got that Cuban style. What he Cuban?
Yeah.
Like real slick.
But offensive with it.
Offensive with it, and those styles are tough for anybody to fight.
Even the Mexican monster?
Even the Mexican monster.
Caleb Plant talked about David Benavidez and David Morrell's fighting styles. He said Benavidez was aggressive and threw good combinations, while Morrell was more crafty and a bit more reserved. Caleb was excited about their potential fight and thought their different styles would make it a great matchup for fans.
You know, their styles are different. Southpaw, right-handed, you know, one puts their punches together very well. And so does David Morrell, but he's a little more crafty. Well, he's a little more maybe passive in his approach. You know, I'll say that. And but that's a big fight. You know, that's one I'm excited for. So.
Sergio Mora says Benavidez's style is efficient, explosive, and fast. He compares it to Diego Corrales, saying Benavidez can throw quick combos without much body movement. His long arms and narrow shoulders let him stay quick and throw a lot of punches in a small space, making him a tough opponent.
We're in front of you than most fighters because he doesn't have to rotate his entire body. He does it. If you notice when you watch Benavidez throws combinations, he's like a Diego Corrales, you know, he's like, I hear it, you know, instead of rotating. He's like, it's beautiful to see, but you can only do that because he has the stature, he has the long arms, and he has the short, you know, the thin shoulders, they're not that wide. And yeah, man, he's a specimen. I think beats Morrell.
Greg Hackett favored Benavidez's experience. He thinks Morrell will control the early rounds, but Benz's pressure will start to tell. By round 4, 5, or 6, Hackett expects Benz to land a clean shot, maybe break Morrell's nose, and turn the fight around.
Morrell gonna look good first 5. He gonna look good first 5. Maybe first 3 before it take a turn, but I say the first 5, he gonna look good. That Benavidez gonna start looking more and more scary. We're gonna start, this card start getting dark, watch. It's gonna be one of them dark beatings. He might even, Benavidez might even bust Morrell's nose. I got him busting his nose like around the 4th round, 5th round, 6th round. Around there, we're gonna see some blood from Morrell, from the nose, watch.
Steven Edwards says Benavidez's constant pressure is tough to handle, and Morrell hasn't faced anyone who's tested him like that yet. He questions if Morrell can deal with being pushed back and forced to adjust, something he hasn't had to do before.
Losing. There's difference when you go back to the corner after 6 rounds and you don't know if you're up. A lot of these young fighters haven't had that yet. So I have to see what his adjustments is like when he's not winning the fight, or when the other guy is putting the kind of mental pressure on him where it starts to create a little bit of doubt. I'm very impressed with David Morrell, but he kind of relies on his forcefulness, his strength, his size. I mean, he's way too big to be fighting 68 pounds. I've been around, he's a big guy, you know, so I'm very, very impressed with him.
Sean Porter says Benavidez has the edge over Morrell because of his experience. He's more familiar with the 175-pound weight class, while Morrell might struggle there. That experience gives Benavidez the advantage.
That's 50-50 right there. If anything, 55-45 for Benavidez. I love David versus David. I love everything about the fight. The thing I feel that Benavidez has over Morrell is experience.
Sean adds that experience is key in a 12-round fight. Morrell hasn't faced much resistance, but Benavidez has. He knows how to handle tough situations, giving him the edge.
When you are in a competitive fight that's gonna go 12 rounds, of course you're prepared for the 12, but when you have had that experience of having resistance at different points in the fight, it's nothing new to you. Morrell has not had resistance. His fight with Hot Rod, that was a different kind of resistance. That was the resistance of somebody staying away from you, you know what I mean? And him not being able to catch up to him. With Benavidez can bang with him. He's just as fast, he can box with them. And that sort of resistance, it plays a mental game with you, and it becomes a roller coaster ride.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Also, check out this video here for more awesome content, and feel free to drop a comment below.